Hey, Aries, Mel, Intuitive Coach here, excited to bring in your May 2025 career and money reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Aries, welcome. Now we kick off the month of May in Taurus season. This means you are going to see the seeds that you've planted start to take shape. The seeds that you planted during your season. And for a lot of you, there were unexpected or unseen, perhaps challenges in the past, or perhaps there was an energy of fear in some way. I feel like some of you may have been tapping into external noise that may have caused you to feel unsettled in some way. Because I have the settling card showing up and it says your soul is telling you, right? There's time for a change. In the recent past, you have the Chariot here. This is the turning point. And I feel like you've allowed yourself the time and space to evolve. You've allowed yourself the opportunity to embrace this spiritual path, this spiritual journey that we're all on. But I feel like you've been learning or understanding or becoming more aware of your purpose, of your sense of belonging. I'm picking up on the root chakra, which has been showing up a lot lately because that is our sense of security and stability. It's our survival as well. And so for a lot of you, you may have felt like that was threatened in some way. Now, bottom of the deck, you have the Page of Wands showing up. This is the momentum that is supercharged for you in the month of May. This is beautiful because you are opening up to curiosity. You're opening up the mind to what else is possible. If you feel like you've been settling here, a lot of you are reawakening your sense of self-worth, right? Self-expression here. This is a highly creative energy. It's also about messages. So for some of you in the month of May, you are going to receive spiritual downloads or messages, possibly externally, that have to do with your career, with your projects, and even courses that you may be studying. So I love the page showing up because you are looking at May through the lens of wonder and through the lens of, opportunity. So this is beautiful. Now, you've been settling to some degree here. And that's why I feel your season, Aries season, was so very significant. And we're still in Aries season at the time of this reading. And you are asking yourself some of the bigger questions, like what am I avoiding or what am I fearing? How can I truly spread my wings and expand my finances? What else can I do? What creative endeavors or what residual or passive income can I create here during these unprecedented times? This is about you taking action. And I feel like Taurus season takes those ideas of yours and really cements them into reality. It means that you are taking action here, not just waiting for change to occur, but I feel like you are becoming that change, right? You are taking some of those ideas that you've been planting the seeds, but now you're really starting to nurture them. You're really starting to see growth is what I'm picking up on. You're getting organized here. I feel like you're getting planning things out well. And I just feel like you are staying disciplined here, but at the same time, you're having fun. Like the messages, don't forget to have fun with this Page of Wands. Now, some of you are preparing for financial loss or you are dealing with financial loss in some way. Now, this could be, the stock market. It could be riding something out here. You may have even had an issue with a vehicle. Some part may have needed replacement. And I feel like you are trying to prepare yourself. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of you, there may have been external fears like worst case scenario that may have kind of leaked into your energy field, and you had to work on that. You sat in a space for a little while of feeling a bit trapped or feeling a bit stuck, like a car that the engine just went out, right? And you're just sitting there. And so for some of you, you had to pause. You had to reflect here on an area that was alarming or causing concern here in your finances or in your career. It says this financial crisis may be out of your control, but you can still control the outcome. And actually your outcome is the control card, which I'll share here in just a moment. But it says you're dealing with things ahead of time. You're trying to prepare for the unexpected. So I feel like a lot of you are I don't want to say super tight with your finances, but I feel like you're not out there spending frivolously. You're really taking a look at your needs at this time versus just your wants. But I also see a lot of you dipping into your spiritual self more so now than ever. You have the spirituality card here, and I just heard William or Will or Bill. Please take that as it resonates. It just came in hot. Now, some of you are, well, actually a lot of you, Spirit just said the majority of you listening right now. So I would say like 99%, if not 100% of you. And that's a big claim, but I'm getting it from Spirit here. You are a healer. You are a spiritual advisor. You are a tarot reader, or you are someone who is here to learn, embrace, and teach the spiritual path. We're all on the spiritual path. So yeah, that would be 100% of us, right? But there's something that you may even be learning at this time. Maybe you're learning how to open up your mediumship skills, or you could be learning about the law of attraction. Maybe you're taking classes on tarot, or you're writing your own book, because I feel like you are a spiritual advisor. Now, some of you may be opening up with that page. You could be the student at this time seeking out advice from a spiritual coach, healer, psychic, or mentor. You may be working with someone to grow your business, but some of you have a spiritually based business as well, or you are embracing the tools that you've learned to apply them in your career, right? In your financial matters. You are being guided to discover your unique spiritual path right now. And how interesting that in the recent past, this is during your season, I feel, Aries season. You have the Chariot here, and this is about your path. You see that she's coming out of the woods. She's coming out of something that perhaps transformed her. I mean, if you ever go into the woods and you feel that fear, or you feel scared in some way, I mean, you do come out stronger because you've overcome something that, you know, it took a lot of your strength. I'm getting strength here for you. So some of you may even have some Leo placements in your chart, or you've really overcome some difficult times here. You've had to face some fears. And some of you, this is about self-control as well. And I keep getting that word for you, control. But the spirituality card also says, use money magic spells to increase wealth and prosperity. So what are magic spells? Affirmations, right? Spells. That's why they call it spelling. So some of you may be using your words, which we all use our words each and every, each and every single day. So it is so important to make sure that you are using words that are uplifting, that don't block the flow of abundance. When we tend to focus on loss or what we don't have, or we tell ourselves we're broke, you know, that's what we start to see in our reality. And some of you are saying, well, Mel, I say it because that's what's happening in my reality. And for those of you that think that way, that means that you are external at this time versus internal. You may be seeing the external, more of the material world, and applying it directly, right? So there's this shift happening. That's why the spiritual self is coming in saying, but it's within. We have to be the change within to see change in the external world. And that doesn't mean that there's nothing going on outside of us, but it means it's important to focus on the words that we use, the energy that we're putting out there. Are we blocking the flow of abundance, or are we inviting it in? So I invite you, Aries, to take a look at the words that you speak and to start embracing positive affirmations each morning, each day, multiple times a day, and just check in with yourself. Now, the outcome energy, which is interesting because I usually only pull 3 themes and then the underlying one here, but Spirit said fourth, one more. So I pulled your final card, and now I see why, because you have the luck card. And look at tic-tac-toe, the clovers, 1, 2, 3, and then there's the bonus. So some of you, I'm getting like 3rd level, 3rd series, 3rd book, 3rd interview. This could even be like 3 levels of maybe a workshop or a class. I just feel like you are entering into a very lucky period of your career, of your life. This is a luck era for you. And even though there's been some unexpected shifts that have taken place, maybe both personally, financially, in your career, and of course around the world, I feel like you are coming out on top here. It says anything you do now will be very prosperous. Some of you, it feels like you hit something in 3s. Like there may have been something challenging or struggling that you'd gone through. Like they say, it comes in 3s. But it feels like after a 3rd is when something is launched into the luck, is what I feel. If you believe that you're lucky, you'll create an abundant mindset. Yeah. Now, your perspective could be stifling your growth and stamping your luck. And that is why you are being asked here. I mean, the month of March, that's 3 energy as well. So again, these readings I put out, I'm not putting out in March. I'm actually putting out in April here. But I feel like March may have been that challenging time for you, when some of you were really seeing some unexpected loss, or you may have been going through a lot of emotions, or a lot of mental strain in some way. But I feel like your luck is returning. Why? Because your mindset is shifting. Okay. Your mindset is shifting. Now, bottom of the deck, we have the coins card. This is about money coming in. It feels like you are seeing an increase here. Maybe in the month of March, some of you saw a little bit of a decline here, or a downfall, or you had to pay into something, or maybe in the recent past, like you had to pay in for taxes, or it was just a heavy month, or a heavy couple of months, maybe last 3 months, but it feels like you've invested wisely here. And I do see increase, right? Getting a raise. Some of you, look at it, has the word lucky showing up here as well. This may have to do with sales, with finances, with your investments, the things that you've invested in long term, even though you may have felt like, you've taken a hit here. I know a lot of people are looking at, their stocks and what they've invested in, and you may be seeing that hit taking place. But I do feel here that you are choosing wisely, and you are not panicking, right? That's important, not panic. And you're going to start to see, a rebalancing taking shape here for you. Yeah, look at that. Work smart. Work smart. This is using your mind wisely. You have the Einstein here at the bottom. It says here, perhaps it's time to clean house, personally and professionally. It's time to start from a clean palette. Now, some of you are, again, sticking to basic needs and not overspending on things that you don't need, right? That's why you may be saving. Some of you are saving up. You're going to see that you're able to save a little bit more in the month of May. And I also see that there's another income source available, or additional money coming in for you. Beautiful. Especially if it's something you're trying to pay off here, or you've had an unexpected bill or an expense. I feel like you'll be able to pay that back without like interest, or without paying more than you need to, is what I'm getting. All right. So we have shopping. Now, the shopping card tells me that some of you could be shopping around for a better deal here. Maybe it is on a vehicle because I have the chariot showing up. I have the vehicle. Some of you are shopping around for, a better price to maybe get some tires changed, or if you are looking at real estate here, it just looks like you are finding the best deal, the best fit for you, and you're not just settling for whatever comes along. That's why the settling card could be showing up here as well, because you want the best deal. You want the best outcome that aligns with, excuse me, your financial needs and your financial desires. So I feel like the shopping card is saying you are shopping smart. I don't feel like you are buying any unnecessary things at this time. Now you also have budget. Yeah, you are budgeting things out. You may be taking a look at, where your money is at, what institutions is it in, what is the rate that you're getting on something. You may be shopping around for new insurance plans. Maybe you're shopping around for, better interest rates here. I just feel like you are doing your due diligence here. You're not just waiting for something to collapse. I feel like you are taking action. Okay, you're taking action here by being knowledgeable or making sure that your money is going to the right place. You're investing in things. So even if you are spending money, let's say you're spending money on a class or a workshop, I do feel like it's worth the investment. So the things that you are investing in the month of May, it has the long-term growth factor behind it. Like, this is something I need, but I'm not going to lose money out on it, right? I'm not going to buy a car here and then it depreciates, by 50% the second I walk out or drive off the lot. It just feels like you're really thinking strategically here. Now, yeah, there's been some sort of unexpected expense. For some of you, it was a vehicle. For others of you, it may have been health, okay? A health expense, as you see, the stethoscope. Some of you could even have euros as cash, okay? I feel like you are paying something off is what I'm getting. Something could be paid off here, or it will be paid off within the next maybe 3 months. For some of you, if this is a bigger loan, it could be 3 years, because that number 3 is coming in here, right? The tic-tac-toe. And I feel like this is a win, but you may have to do things in a diagonal way, right? Instead of maybe something more traditional, instead of, going straight across or going straight down, it feels like you may have to kind of take a different approach, but I feel like you will have something paid down, or it will benefit you in the next three months. For those of you, it resonates sooner rather than later. And for those of you that this is a long-term dream, I'm getting 3 years. Now look at that, Aries. You are dressing to impress. Maybe you're going to meet Bill or William. Excuse me. Maybe that's your name or middle name here. But I feel like you are impressing people. You are very skilled. You are very knowledgeable. I also feel like you are someone that people want to connect with because you give off this air of confidence. You have this ability to charm, but not in a manipulative way. I just feel like you have the energy, the spiritual energy here to really create an atmosphere conducive to growth and to respect, and you come across as knowing your stuff, right? You have some skills. So I definitely feel like you are connecting, maybe partnering up with a new brand or a new company. You are taking action by maybe putting yourself out there in the spotlight, and you're getting ready. You are preparing. So I feel like that's a really good sign coming in. If you're working with someone new, or if you're wanting to connect with a new company or organization, I mean, someone is knocking some socks off here this month. Now you also have the insurance card. I just mentioned some of you could be shopping around for either health or life or medical insurance in some way. Some of you may be in the field of insurance as well. Maybe you're an agent or a broker here. But I also feel like this means you are insured. I mean, some of you may be looking at areas where your money is insured. Like my money is insured up to this amount in this institution, or something that you may have been paying. I feel like it may have been skyrocketing, right? Maybe it was like home insurance or homeowners or something of that nature. And I just feel like, again, someone's shopping around, which is good. Otherwise, if you're not doing the work, you may be spending more than necessary. So be sure, again, that you're putting in the energy, the efforts. And then lastly, we have the selling card. So some of you, the shopping and the selling has to do with real estate. You may be thinking about selling a business or selling your home. I feel like this could even be selling products. You may be expanding your reach, expanding your target market. And I'm also getting here #1 bestseller on Amazon. Okay, maybe someone's selling a book on Amazon here, or you may be putting your goods out there in some way. And maybe if it hasn't yet, it potentially could hit Amazon. I mean, it doesn't have to be Amazon per se, but I do feel like it's a company that everybody is aware of in some way. Most people have heard of Amazon. So wherever you're selling your goods, I feel like you are going to partner up or get some sort of contract that many people have heard of. Now, this could also be that collaboration that I'm picking up on here, because some of you are going to work with a very well-known or very reputable company or person. I just feel like this is maybe even global or international in some way. Okay. You could also be partnering up with like again, a broker or a lawyer or someone that has high prestige here. They have high reputation for, #1 sales, or they are the #1 fighting lawyer. It just feels like you are connecting to people who also match and align your energy or what it is that you are looking for. So I think that things are starting to turn around for you here. Now, diving in, you have the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is all about your labor of love, right? Labors of love. You see that this woman, she has created a beautiful mural. That's taken a lot of time, right? That's taken a lot of her time, a lot of her energy. It is something that she stays consistent with time and time, day and day, over and over again. This is consistency right there. It's not something she just shows up in one day and says, oh, yep, I'm going to have this done by 6 p.m. tonight and we're good to go. No, this is something that you put in, your blood, sweat, and tears, but it means something to you, Aries. So I feel whatever it is that you are dreaming up, whatever this is, the Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, whatever you are doing to express yourself, and if it's not bringing you a labor of love, if it feels like it's a labor of fear or a labor of suffering, this is the time to educate yourself. It is the time to explore a new path here. Continue mastering your skills, because the 8 of Pentacles showing up here is knowledge, it's inspiration, but it's also experimental. It's time for you to drive yourself. It is time for you to take a look at your time management. Now, this is something that, I've been diving into lately, where I've been reading the beautiful quotes that you all have been adding to the comment section of the next 3-month readings. And one quote that really stood out was, "One day or day one." And I have been wanting to shift my role from more of a night owl to more of an early bird. And I get up early in the morning, but I really want to incorporate getting outside and hitting the hiking trails by 6 a.m. So I have been integrating that quote, right? Using the words, the spells here that we talked about. And that inspires me to stay diligent. And I have been getting up, at 5:30 a.m. and hitting the trail by 6 a.m. and allowing myself to get outside in the great outdoors. But it takes willpower. It takes consistency. It's not something I just want to do once a month, right? It's something that I want to do numerous times a week. And it's something I love, but I have to be willing to put in the work. I have to be willing to say, okay, day one is stronger than one day. The momentum behind it has to be stronger than, yeah, one day I'll do this. Instead, you're choosing here. And that's what I feel for you. You're choosing to dedicate yourself, to stay disciplined in your actions, but to have fun with it as well. I have fun. I've set up that new structure, but when I'm out there hiking the trails, it's not the same trail all the time, right? Sometimes it's along the river. Sometimes it's by the lake. Sometimes it's up there, by the bison, because my trails are by a big old zoo. So this is about you trying new things and experimenting, but at least dedicating yourself to doing it an hour a day or however long a day, right? This is about you putting in the labors of love, but it will require work and discipline and a new sense of inspiration. Now, Aries, crossing your path, you have the wake up. This is the hanged man energy. You're waking up to a new perspective. Like I just said, that quote that really sticks with me, or has stuck. So thank you, whoever posted that. I keep telling myself, all right, today is day one, and I have to choose day one because that's perspective. Of course, I can go back and look at it, well, one day, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe next week. No, I have to continue choosing that perspective. And a lot of you here, this perspective showing up is surrender. It's surrendering and saying, all right, what do I need? Because some of you are like, well, Mel, you know that you want to go on that trail, but I don't even know what I want to do. I don't even know what brings me joy or what my labor of love is. If that's the case for you, Aries, then I challenge you to meditate, to ask your guides, to connect with your higher self, because you are going through a rebirth. The bat here represents massive awakening, right? There's been a bit of a hang up, a bit of a delay here with the settling, with the unexpected, right? But what you're going through now is profound. And when the hanged man shows up as crossing your path, I have a feeling you're letting go of old beliefs. You're letting go of maybe a martyr complex here, or maybe you've dealt with people who've had old beliefs that have held you back. Right? Maybe you've had a partner that said, well, maybe now's not the time, or maybe you have to really focus on this area because we have to bring in money. We don't really have time for you to focus on your art over here. So pay attention to anyone in your life who tells you you can't in some way. And Aries, that's not going to go well with you anyway, because you are a fire forger, right? You like to forge your own path in your own way, but just be mindful of how other people's views or opinions of you may get locked up in your mind. And I do see here with the perspective showing up this month for you, everything is changing, and you see the rainbow, and it feels like there's joy out of something that may have been, delayed or put on pause. So foundation here, this is that base chakra or root chakra that I mentioned that has to do with stability and safety and security. But it feels like there's been resistance here. And it may not be that you are putting off intentional resistant vibes, but this tells me that in the deep foundation here, you've gone through a lot. The Nine of Wands oftentimes gets the rap of the wounded warrior, meaning, there's been a lot that this gentleman, a male or female, that this human experience has brought to this individual. And sometimes I always feel like this individual has packed 3 lifetimes into one, right? They have come and they had a lot on their plate here. I mean, sometimes this can be job loss or health issues or divorce. And sometimes it feels like it all comes in at once. And for some of you, it feels like it's been spattered about. But there's an ending of resistance here where the luck card says this is about flow. This is about a renewed sense of determination. This is about overcoming any external hurdles and reigniting that flame within. So for those of you that did feel like you've had to break down some old beliefs, or you've had to really restructure what safety, security, and survival means for you, I mean, you are a trailblazer. I feel like you have what it takes to complete the mission, is what I heard. Complete the mission. Now, in the recent past, you do have the Chariot. I love the Chariot here. However, the Chariot must be aligned with their control, right? They must be able to control their emotions, because if we let our emotions get out of line, right, we tend to make choices or decisions that could harm us or hurt us or cause us to not think clearly. And I feel like you have regulated your emotions, meaning you have this drive, you have these goals. This is also the card of travel here, and it's Cancerian. That's why it's very emotional. So it feels like you've been balancing out your emotions, not letting them get the best of you, but being in control of them. And that's allowed you, or it is allowing you here in the recent past, to move forward towards some goals and to take action towards victory, because this can be a fast forward. And for a lot of you, if you felt like you were stuck in an era, for some of you, I'm literally getting era. So maybe it was like a 5-year cycle or longer. For some of you, it just feels like there's been a period of waiting for growth to happen or waiting for some change to happen. And you're like, wait a second, there has been something happening within me all along, but now you're seeing it in the physical, the external. And I feel like you're coming out of this massive period of, again, survival in some way, and you can breathe again. The perspective is saying, all right, I see that there's a new path ahead. I see that there's new opportunities coming in. I see that, my perspective may have been challenged because, of course, I was seeing things that were challenging, and that can be difficult for even the best guru out there, right? I feel like you are on the spiritual path, as we all are, and you dealt with some things that really threw you for a loop, but you're getting back on track here, Aries. Because what's coming in is the ultimate blessing. You have the card here of gratitude. This is the 10 of Cups. This is beautiful. The 10 of Cups is really the ultimate blessing. It is emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment in your career. It means that some of you are able to do what you love and yet spend time with those that you love. Maybe you're working from home. You may be, generating income while you sleep. For some of you, that's what I'm getting. And that allows you to spend more time focusing on other creative endeavors, other ways to express yourself. But this is about you opening up here in ways that you never thought possible. And I just feel like there's a completion here that's allowing you to expand, right? Because 10s are about endings, but they're also about beginnings. You've completed this cycle that may have been, again, challenging or difficult, but I feel like you are embracing something new. And I feel like you're really owning your power in a big, big way. But it also is about gratitude. You're grateful for everything, even the challenges, even the struggles. And I always say here, the difference between privilege and entitlement is gratitude. And when you have gratitude, it doesn't mean that, these things are owed to you in some way. It means I am grateful. I am attracting. These are blessings, and I am able to tap into the blessings because the flow is not cut off, right? That resistance here. So you are opening back up to the flow of abundance, but you had to go through a few things that may have felt like it tapped, it kinked your hose of abundance, but that's free flowing now is what I see. So coming in for you, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now the Knight of Pentacles here, he's an explorer. You see that she has mountains in her eyes that are being reflected back to her through her sunglasses there. So she may realize, yes, there's some mountains to climb here, but I'm ready because I've been moving forward. I've been patient. I've dedicated myself to my craft, to focus, to discipline. I mean, the Knight of Pentacles, he is someone that is very hardworking. He's very practical. He's very detail oriented, resourceful. And he also is someone who, he is disciplined, but I feel for some of you, if you didn't feel disciplined, like I mentioned earlier, or if you just felt like you lost focus or your perspective started to veer off and it caused you to feel resistant, or it may have felt like it blocked off the flow. I mean, that's what you have coming in here in the near future, where the eyeglasses literally are a new perspective and you're ready to explore new mountains, new places, new people. I just heard Switzerland. Maybe some of you are moving to the mountains, traveling to the mountains in some way. Okay, there's something here with the mountains that's significant. But I also feel like you've reached the top here of a mountain and you always continue climbing, right? You don't just get to the top of a mountain and say, okay, this is it. It's beautiful. It's important to stop and bask in the views, bask in that success. But chances are when you climb back down, right, there's a new mountain to climb. There's always new mountains to climb, new things to learn, new people to meet, new experiences to have. And I just feel like you're excited here about what you see. There's something about excitement about what you see, even if it takes a little bit of time to build here. Now, in your energy, look at the confidence that is building. You have this level of confidence. This is the 8 of Wands. A lot of you, I am seeing travel here, or a move, or relocating. Some of you may also want to retire in a different country, or you may be visiting a different land that is, it's not where you may have been born, or it's not where you grew up here, or maybe you're going back and spending time in that location. It just feels like you've separated yourself, or you've had to go through a phase of growing over here, but then you're coming back to the heart. You're coming back to your soul truth here. And there's a lot more confidence within you. And I feel like that confidence is building and building and building. And it's not coming from, an egoic point of view here. It's because the more that you step into your fear, the more that you show up shaking, even if fear is there, the better you are going to feel. And just like me setting up that new routine where I'm out there hiking at 6 a.m., even though at first I was a little bit hesitant, like, oh, it's so nice and warm and cozy in my bed. It's my safety net, right? It's my comfort zone, because that's what I've been doing is, okay, now I am going to shift gears, and it's a new level of comfort. It becomes that new level of comfort where it feels even better than the prior. And that's what I see is the more that you step out of your comfort zone, the better you are going to feel. And you have this message potentially to share or tell others, because this can be the message of communication. All right, speedy communication. This is about you realigning your energies. This is movement and things starting to take off here for you quite quickly. So I'm loving that. Now, in your environment, Aries, you have the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles is about staying present, because when we tend to juggle a lot of things, right? If you're like me and you have, a family to take care of, and you have a business or a job, and you have, the yard work, and you have your health you're focusing on, and your spirituality and your practices, and maybe a new class, and you want to read that book and spend time with your friends and your family, there's a lot going on in our lives. And this is about you being able to juggle. It's a juggling energy here, the 2 of Pentacles, but it's also about staying present and making sure that you are carving time out of your busy lives to just be, to stop and smell the roses. Now, some of you also are comparing at this time, like you may be comparing institutions to, apply your money or put your money into. Some of you, it's comparing up a couple of different places you want to live, or maybe it's, who do I want to work for? So you may be weighing up some pros and cons, and I feel like the present energy is saying stay present in your choice. Really drop into your body as well, because the Pentacles is the realm of the physical, the earthly, the body. So drop into your body, because if you're struggling finding balance, or you're struggling making a choice here, the body often lets us know before the mind does. So pay attention to the body. And some of you take time to throw your dog, a bone or a stick here. Take time to spend time with those that you love, and make sure that, again, the Eight of Pentacles, you're focusing your time this month on things that do inspire you, things that do motivate you here. You can find balance between your work life and your, personal life. That's the message here. Now, some of you've gone through disappointment that really challenged you. It broke your heart. Some of you may have even gone through a divorce, or you've gone through maybe a loss of some sort. And I feel like you've had to recover. All right. There's a recovering energy. Maybe there was an unexpected setback, or there was a loss in the family. You may have had to pay for something, but I feel like there could be maybe even a small bundle of money, or a small bundle of resources. I'm not sure if this is like an inheritance, or maybe someone had a home that was gifted. It just feels like there's something that may come out of a heartbreak, okay, that you may have, been very challenged, but I feel like you will get something out of this. All right. If this is a divorce, maybe this is a settlement. If there's been a loss in the family, or if you've been fired, or, maybe there's a severance pay, it just feels like something will benefit, or you will get a benefit from something that was very difficult to go through. And I'm sending you a lot of love here, Aries, because that's never fun to be in that Three of Swords. Now, this is showing up in the hopes and the fears. So it tells me that you're not feeling it right this second. However, if it is a fear that we tend to sink in, it can feel like it's right here, right in the moment, right? But it shows up in this position for a reason, because some of you may be fearing a worst case scenario, or because of something happening in the past. I feel like this is you being unable to trust that things are going to work out here. But the hope is saying, yes, they will. That's where that mindset comes in. That's where the spiritual nature comes in. Go within and trust that whatever is happening for you is in your highest good, but also take the bull by the horns. Get disciplined here. Do the work and be the change that you wish to see. Because if you put your energy into something that you love, there will be a reward in return. And not that you're necessarily doing it for, some sort of external reward, although I do see that that's favorable here with the Eight of Pentacles and with this Knight of Pentacles, but it's about you feeling intuitively, spiritually, and emotionally satisfied here. Now, your final outcome, Aries, is you. This is the Emperor. This is about you being in a position here of authority, or you connecting to another energy that mirrors you. And I mentioned that in the beginning. Now, some of you, you're getting disciplined. You're getting disciplined here on your goals. You are building a structure for yourself. Like I mentioned with the trails, I have a time frame that I like to be on the trails. I have a time frame that I get back and make sure that I'm showered and up and ready to start my day. And for some of you, that's the same. There's a new routine coming in, but because you have that Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck, have fun doing it. If something becomes forced, or it feels like, you're not doing it for the right reasons, or that fear tends to come in and control you, that's going to cause resistance, or it's going to cause the experience to feel challenging in some way. But when the Emperor shows up, he is the embodiment of stability. He is able to feel that sense of personal power and self-control. He's all about order and structure. And I feel like that here is what is taking your goal to the next level. Now, you may be fearing someone of rulership, someone of higher authority here. But when it's showing up in the upright position here, I feel like you are okay. Like why are we fearing? It's something external. So try to focus on taking care of you at this time. For those of you that may be fearing like a boss or someone again of higher authority, I feel like it's important for you to make some choices, some healthy choices that align with your soul's growth. All right. So you're definitely climbing to the top. You're going all the way to the top. A lot of you are entrepreneurs, business owners, or you are partnering with a new company or a new organization that is really going to allow you to get to the highest peak. And that's what I see here, even if it's taken some time. And she has the peak. She has the mountains in her eyeglasses there. Something is finally being reflected to you. You know that this path is yours. You know that this path is a path that you're meant to explore, that you are meant to be on here. So your card, Wisdom of the Oracle, you have Imagine. And that is the Page of Wands showing up for you. It's also card 20. Now 20 is the Judgment card in tarot. So this is about a compassionate review of everything that you've gone through to some degree, because you have gone through a lot. And when this card shows up, I feel like you are being asked to use your imagination to see what you can grow, because whatever that is for you, I feel like that is you tapping into your divine blueprint. And that means that if you stay consistent, you're going to the top here. Now imagine. It says turning imagination into manifestation, creative thought, visualization, the power of aligning imagery and feelings. And it's interesting because I see that showing up all over your reading, like being able to tap into that visualization, being able to tap into that creativity, the exploring of, what is it that I love? And then I am going to make choices to stay consistent in that. And that's what the Emperor is reminding you here. So when it comes to the career message or prosperity, it says this is a powerful time to get clear on how you create your prosperity, what it means to you to be prosperous, and what attributes you need to develop. There's the Eight of Pentacles. To make things happen. Who do you need to be to live out your dreams? Can you imagine the kind of life that you desire? Aries, I mean really imagine it. Without holding back the sheer force of your powers of creativity. If you can envision it, you can have it. Get ready, for prosperity is waiting for you to claim it now. Act as if your dreams really will come true. I love that for you. And that's where I feel like you're going. However, because you're still waking up to this truth, because some of you, because there's been some setbacks, some struggles or external stuff going on in the world, you started to lose sight of this vision. All right. You started to maybe sink into, well, maybe I have to stay on this path. Maybe that's the only path. Spirit is saying, oh, no, don't let that hold you back here. Dream. Now, some of you, illusions are taking over. All right. And I am going to read here the protection message, because you're still, maybe some of you are still shifting this perspective from illusion to reality. And it says illusions and wishful thinking rooted in a sense of lack have entered your life. Now may be the time to see things as they truly are. It says here, release any fear, then envision anew. Perhaps you are anticipating that something fearful might happen and recreating that image of disaster over and over in your mind. The universe responds to such projections, so be aware of this catastrophizing. No matter what, illusions and awfulizing are a misuse of imagination. Clear the inner slate and stay grounded, stay real. Only then can you truly have what you desire. Excuse me. So that flows beautifully, literally, with the Page of Wands at the bottom and the Emperor, because it does talk about using your imagination, but sometimes, catastrophizing or perspective, as it says here, perspective that stifles our growth or stomps our luck, can be catastrophizing, or it can be anticipating that the worst is going to happen. And that's why you have the Three of Swords here showing up as your fear. All right. Excuse me. Let's get a few messages here from your spirit animals. And at this time, Aries, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you, Aries, to imagine the first animal or animals that show up in your mind's eye. Now, this could be an animal that flies high in the sky. Your animal could swim deep in the sea. Perhaps your animal is wild, magical, or even mystical. This could be a pet that's crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. Maybe even an animal currently at your home, or one that's recently crossed your path in the great outdoors. There is no right or wrong answer. And if you need a moment, Aries, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, where I draw one winner and post right back here on the community page, so please make sure to hit that subscribe and bell button. All you need to do is drop your animals in the comment section below. Whether you have one or you have 5, drop them below. All right. Your animal spirit messages for the month of May. You have here wolf spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. And I see that you are doing just that. You are taking what you've learned on your spiritual journey here, and with that Emperor as your outcome, he is very, very wise. And you may be called to spiritually advise others, as I mentioned earlier, or to help other people on their journey, or to work with someone at this time to help you turn that knowledge into wisdom. Wolf spirit. Next you have turtle. Slow and steady wins the race. Some of you are being asked to not make any rash or impulsive decisions at this time, okay? But you're also asked to lean into your dreams, but stay consistent with them. Even if it takes a little bit of time, you will grow something very fruitful, very, very abundant. So turtle spirit reminds you, slow and steady wins the race, because it may feel like you've been in the sand, right? If you've ever watched those beautiful sea turtles as they're getting ready to leap out into the ocean, even though they can be fast little critters on sand, their element is really in the water. And for some of you, it feels like you're still kind of going through that sand. You haven't quite hit the pace of the water yet, but you are about to. You are about to. Next, you have dove spirit. Be peace. Bring peace in to your world internally. That means that no matter what is going on externally, you're able to find that center of peace and center of calm within you. Spirit wants you to also know here, with this being number 21, that the world is your oyster. Don't settle. Don't limit your abundance here due to fears or due to preconceived notions or perspectives that hold you back. I feel like it's important for you to spread your wings with that dove. Next, you have seahorse spirit. I love seahorses. It says watch and wait. So some of you are writing it out, okay? Writing it out, whatever that may mean for you, or you're just watching to see, I'm getting the numbers like going up, the numbers going down. So you may be watching at this time, but I feel like you're going to start to see the growth. And it's so interesting here because seahorses, they're actually the male, the masculine seahorse, I believe, is the ones that carry the babies. They're transferred to the male seahorse here, and they're the ones that nurture and take care of. So you are being asked to step into your divine masculine. If you are a male or if you are a female, we have that aspect in all of us, right? We're all masculine and feminine. But I feel like that emperor showing up here is saying it's time to take action and nurture and create something that you truly love. And lastly here we have brown bear. 9, it's card 9, which is also about accomplishments. If you've accomplished something here, take a time out for you to stop and smell the roses. Okay, it's important for you to rest and not just immediately head to climbing that next mountain. Take some time to just be. Allow yourself to soften into the Taurian energy here of slowing things down a bit. Perhaps there was a very hectic or chaotic or busyness, either mentally, physically, or emotionally over the last 3 months. And this is a time to kind of slow it down a little bit and bring back that centeredness to your body, to your mind. Okay. All right. And lastly here, let's get a final soul truth message before we close out your reading. What does your soul want you to know at this time? Last message here for Aries, we have, how can I deepen my trust right now? It says here, trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others, because trust creates safety. And when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. There's that root chakra again. Safety, security, stability, survival. And some of you, that's been threatened or that has crumbled in some way, or that's a fear that is going to happen. And Spirit is saying, deepen into trust. Let go. Today, find your center in the chaos. I just said that here. And be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. That is what I have for you, Aries. I love the messages for you this month. I love that, your luck is shifting. Why? Because your perspective is shifting here. And no matter what you give your labors of love towards, you're going to see them growing exponentially. You are going to see them not only growing in spiritual growth, right? Feeling that emotional and intuitive fulfillment here because you're actively living and leading with purpose and passion here, but you're going to see it financially grow as well. That is what I have for you, Aries. If this resonates, please do hit that thumbs up button. Of course, please drop your power animals in the comment section below. And again, if you haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button, please do so. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Lots of love.